Buffins. What's up, Buffins gang? I'm Annie.
I'm 7.
I feel like it's gonna be like, duh, everybody says that, but no, this is something that's really, really helped us through every single experience and every single problem that we've
And
had.
I'm very grateful that, that she wasn't just like, all right, I'm out. You do too much. Back at it again with the Buffins. What's up, Buffins gang? I'm Annie.
I'm 7.
Coming to y'all live from our baby
Chattanooga,
moon.
Tennessee.
Our baby moon in chat. I don't even think they have that kind of accent here.
Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Nobody talks like that.
Coming live from Chattanooga, Tennessee.
In front of the fire.
Front of the fire with a little tea for tea talk.
No. And cut. You're done. You're done. Okay. Anyways.
Hi guys, we're so relaxed. It's so peaceful out here.
Y'all
Oh
can
my
hear the
God.
crickets. The crickets are so loud. But they're part of the peace. They feel good.
Definitely part of the peace.
They're not Pablo barking.
There's not Parker slapping me in the
There's
face.
not Parker doing what Parker does, because slapping you in the face is one thing. He be doing a whole lot of stuff. It's peaceful. But we had a lot of requests for our next Tea Talk video, and one of the topics that we personally liked was, what was it, baby? Can I get a drum roll, please? How we maintain a healthy marriage.
Oh, that's what we were talking about. I didn't even know. I was
Yeah.
doing the drum roll and I wanted to find out too.
That's how real it is. I didn't even tell 7. I said we're about to do our Tea Talk video, so prop the thing up and we just gonna vibe, because y'all know that's how we function best. And I personally feel like that would be a really good topic. Do you want to talk about that?
We can talk about that.
Okay, cool. And before we, just disclaimer, before we even talk about having a healthy marriage, I first and foremost want to say this one thing, a couple things. The first thing is, our marriage is not perfect. It is not perfect.
Yeah.
And we've been married for 2 years and 2 months now.
Yeah, our relationship wasn't perfect. Marriage
Right.
isn't perfect.
I know we're not
Relationship.
giving it because we're coming to y'all from a, oh my God, we're so perfect space, listen to us. No, we're coming from a, this is what we've learned. This is how we've evolved together. This is what we've grown to just do together and make things
Right.
as best as they can be and stay happy.
Yeah.
Just want to express the space that I'm personally coming from with anything that comes out of my mouth. I am not perfect. My relationship is not perfect. I'm not a perfect nothing, okay? I do the best I can. What about you?
With what I have. I think that's the like disclaimer. Yeah, disclaimer. Just not perfect. I just feel like you can also talk from spaces of experience, and it helps other people.
Right.
I think any type of perfection it's a fantasy. Like, nothing's perfect. Everybody has things in their relationship. Some people's are just more public than others, but everybody has problems. Everybody has things.
Facts. Big facts. So I'm not going to act like we've never had no problems, but everything we've done. Well, I'll give my very first tip, and I feel like it's going to be like, duh, everybody says that, but no, this is something that's really, really helped us through every single experience and every single problem that we've had, and it's communication. And something that we live by in all aspects of our life, in our marriage, in our business, in life, in our friendships and family, is a motto called everything is no problem. And I just want to say that we say that because, not because there's no problems. Obviously, duh, there's problems. Like, things happen, things come up, things go wrong. Everything is no problem because there's solutions.
Yeah.
And when it comes to marriage and like having a partnership, you actually get the opportunity for not it to just be one-sided, one person coming up with solutions, but both people coming up with solutions and meeting in the middle. Okay, no pun intended right there. Anyway,
I wish we had the little microphone so you could hear better.
I know, but we're gonna do what it do while we do what it do until we do what it do.
Okay. I think so. I would honestly say, like, one of my biggest tips on relationships in general, relationships, friendships, but definitely relationships, is that I think people get so caught up fantasizing what a perfect version of a person looks like for them versus actually like falling in love with who they truly are. And I think that causes a lot of confusion, because then you start having expectations, you get disappointed because you're fantasizing like this perfect version of them. You're fantasizing like what you want them to be for you, how they could look like for you, what a perfect version of your relationship looks like, instead of understanding that. And I think this is very important, that you experience people, like you genuinely get to experience people and not possess them. And that type of love creates a different type of love, because once you get out of what's your perfect of them and you look at like falling in love with their best version of themselves, them evolving, then you stop having so many expectations. Because I think in a relationship, you can be loyal to who you first started dating or who you first got married to. So then it makes it hard for when they start changing and everything else for you to still love them even more, because it's like they're not always going to be that, you know, that same person for you. Like, you know, when you started expressing like different things that you wanted or that you needed, it was just kind of like, okay, am I going to evolve with you? Am I going to grow with you? Am I going to be understanding and be open to that? You know, if I want to love you forever, that means I'm consistently loving the new person that you become every single day. Right. So I think like not being married to the perfection of what you are for somebody else, like what they could be for you, is very important. That like hands down, I think biggest tip dating is like take that expectation and throw it out the window, or just understand that you'll never get that full version of that person if they feel like they have to be in a cage, white picket fence, crayon coloring book, not outside the lines for you. Like you'll never really be able to experience who they truly can be, because they want to be like this perfect thing for you. And that's when you start getting,
that's when you get fake.
Yeah.
You get fake. Now they're only acting a certain way to be with you, but that's not even who they really are. And let's be real, you act fake. You can only act fake but for so long.
Or they just be holding back. Like you hold back on like different like
and then
things.
You end up miserable, unhappy, or you're like your real true self comes out, and now this person, your partner, is like, well, who is this? Because I don't know who this has
like,
been this entire time.
Who the fuck is that?
And it's like, oh, well, this is actually the real me.
We had a 100% transparent. We had a time like I was like that with Annie. I'm like, nah, bro, like send it back, send it back, and that's.
But that's real.
But that's when I got to be like, I had to sit down and be real with myself. Like, okay, like, is it like? And I had to ask Annie so many questions. Like, okay, well, how long have you felt like this? Like, where did it come from? And different things like that. But like, okay, well, what is it that I could be doing differently, like, to help you feel more open? Because we had to have a lot of clarifying conversations with each other. Like, okay, what would make you feel more comfortable telling me anything? Like, I want you to be able to tell me, express to me, you know, anything that you're feeling. Like, because people, you gotta understand, you guys, that like, once you start being afraid to express yourself and different things like that, you hold back on so much in life. Like, I want to be able to tell you, like, if somebody walked by and I'd be like, oh, I think she cute, and it not be like a big deal. Or, you know, I want to be able to tell you, like, yeah, I feel like, you know, I want to be able to lose more weight. I don't like the size that I am right now. But if you always be like, ugh, I hate skinny girls, like I would be like, you know, I'll be afraid to be like, well, babe, I really want to lose 15 pounds. So I think my biggest tip was that. And
I think I'll just piggyback off what Seven just said about expecting things from people. I almost forgot what book it was in that I read.
Unfuck Yourself.
Unfuck Yourself. If you haven't read that book, it's lit. Okay.
Unfuck Yourself.
Let me tell you something that I heard in that book, and I was like, wow, that's so true. And we do it in relationships all the time. Well, in my past, I've done it in relationships. And I've caught myself doing it with Seven too. Like I said, we're speaking from experience and things that we've learned. But I've learned that if you expect something from somebody instead of communicating with them or learning what they really like or don't like, whatever the case may be, and you just start doing all these different expectations, you're going to end up mad every single time.
Oh, yeah.
Every single time. If you really think about it, the last time that someone pissed you off, made you upset, made you mad, whatever the case may be, was it because you expected them to do something, to say something, to not do something, to not say something that they did? Chances are, Even if we thought about it right now, like the last time I was mad about something is because I expected something. I expected something and I didn't get it back. Let go of expectations of people in general, because cut it. You will end up mad every single time. But instead of having expectations, something that we personally do is what I was saying in the beginning. I realized I didn't go into depth with it, is communicate. We talk about everything, even the stuff we don't want to talk about. Does it be hard? Does it be hard? It'd be hard. It'd be hard. It'd be a lot of uncomfortable conversations. Trust me. And I don't like talking. I didn't really start communicating until this relationship. Obviously, that's probably why we're married now and we're going to be together forever. But I didn't really like talking. So if you're somebody that don't like talking, throw that out the window if you want it to work, because you have to actually talk through things, even the stuff that you don't want to talk through. That's something that I'll say.
And disclaimer, you guys. I don't know what my hair looks like right now, or what I look like in general.
We don't care. We're relaxing.
I'm so comfortable, relaxed. I think expectations, yes. I think another big thing, you guys, and it's Lil Durk lyric. It's my favorite thing about relationships, marriages especially. Inside, don't let it outside run that situation, and it's me and you forever, that situation. And that's because a lot of the times I would say our marriage works the way it does is because we don't give up what nobody
It's our
else,
marriage. Nobody else in this thing. It's ours.
Nobody else says.
We own it.
What's your white picket fence version of a marriage look like?
What a movie look like.
What a movie look like. What Instagram relationships look like. Our relationship is our relationship. Like, that's it. Like, and it's so huge for us is because I remember our 1-year anniversary. Me and like the first year was really hard because it's like, you know, you hear all these things about marriage and you get all of this advice and you're just waiting and like you're trying to figure it out. And I remember on our 1-year anniversary, we were sitting down outside eating popcorn with a Netflix thing on a back porch, and I was like, babe, let's just agree to do marriage in our own way, whatever that looks like. And we walked into our best year of being married because you start trying to come up with these real unrealistic expectations of what you think marriage could be, and it's not even your thing. Like, you don't even know what you want because you're like, oh, well, people say you should do this, and then you should get a house, and then you should have kids, and then you should do this, and you should do that, and marriage should look like this, and you guys shouldn't do that, and you shouldn't do this, and marriage should look like this, and if you want to last, make sure you do this. And I think it's so much of that you finally got to start saying, okay, and this is what marriage is, relationships, anything. What does it look like for me and my partner? What does our relation look like? What are our boundaries? What are the things that we want? And be understanding that people gonna talk shit regardless. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it may be something that you have that you accept in your marriage, that you accept in your relationship, that other people would or would not do, but that's why it's between y'all.
Yeah.
You know, that's why it's your thing. Like, it's so much in our marriage that's just our thing. And it's so crazy because, you know, if we talk to people about it or if we were just like waiting on people's opinion, then it would be like whatever. But that's why I tell people all the time, like, I'm really married to my best friend. Like, I'm thankful to God that I'm married to my best friend because I'm able to talk to Annie about anything. I'm able to do marriage in our way. We're able to do things in our own way, and we don't let what anybody else thinks or their opinion affect us. Period. And that plays a big role in our household.
Something also that we did, because I was, when you were saying that, I thought you were talking about the other thing that we did, but that was actually not our 1-year anniversary. It was right before we got married.
Yeah. We
created these 2 lists and then we exchanged them. And the 2, this is us not married. We're in a relationship. We're engaged at the time. Just a little beep beep backstory. We met 6 months later. We got engaged. A year and a half later, we got married, and we've now been married for 2 years. So we've been together for 4 years and some change. Just for anyone who has not seen our video on how we met,
and we'll link it,
and how how that goes. But right before we got married, we created these 2 lists and we exchanged them to each other. And one side of the list said what I need from you, and the other side of the list said what I'm willing to give you.
Yeah.
And then we exchanged them. And the reason why, and I think I put mine on the refrigerator or something.
Yeah.
But
and then it was after you exchanged it, you had to go back and say what you could give the person right now and what you would work towards.
Yeah, like what you could commit to.
what you couldn't do at all.
That way, again, we're communicating. Like,
Yeah,
no matter how ugly it gets.
This
when we
stuff might sound cheesy, y'all, but it's
when
not
we
cheesy.
exchanged those lists, y'all, it was real
stuff.
fucking life in those lists. Like, real life in those lists. And it was just, you know, like it was a wake-up call. It was some stuff that I didn't know that Annie needed from me that I thought I was giving. Like, I'm like, and I couldn't get mad and be like, well, I'm giving this.
Yeah,
like,
you also have to go into doing these things in any conversation with your spouse, your partner, with an open mind. Because if you go into it with thinking, that's the only thing that's going to come out of it. But if you go into it with an open mind, you're actually open to receive the things that could possibly come out, like a happier relationship, a happier you, a healthy marriage or relationship, whatever the case may be for you. But we went into that with an open mind, and we was like, look, this is what it is. And also, I think that's something like that's a key about those lists, where we weren't just saying, I need this. But in order to receive, you have to give. Like, if you're not saying,
like, one of my,
you can't ask for a table if you ain't willing to bring a table with you to the table. Like, that's just, it just is what it is.
One of my thing was, you guys, one of my biggest things is I always want to feel safe. And when I say safe, I don't mean like go get a gun, but I mean like I want to feel safe at home. I want to be able to break down. I want to feel like nobody will know our business. I want to feel like, you know, I'm at home in your arms, you know? So like one of my things was that I wanted to feel safe, but one of the things that I wanted to give is I wanted to be more trusting, because I can't lie, you guys, in the beginning of our relationship, I was just very insecure. And that's because every person that I had dated cheated on me, and I used to always get that story of, it's not you, you're perfect, it's me. So I used to feel like, okay, well, I can't help if somebody cheats on me because of whatever, right? And I see in the long run that I just had really bad communication then. But, you know, like one of the things that I wanted to give was more trust, because I used to let some of my past experience affect me and Annie in our now. You know, and I'm very grateful that, you know, that she wasn't just like, all right, I'm out. You do too much, right? But like I used to have insecurities, and I would project them on her, and it wasn't even things that she was doing back to me. So like, you know, I was like, okay, well, I want to feel safe. And I'm like, well, I'm willing to give you trust, because in order for you to make me feel safe, I have to feel, you know, I have to be more trustworthy towards you. I have to give you more trusting things, and not just feel like you have to be beside me for me to trust you.
Period.
It's so important.
Feel that. Well, I think it's time to wrap it up, because I'm hungry. Peyton's hungry.
We're gonna go get pizza in our pajamas.
I hope that y'all enjoyed this tea talk. Drop some comments for us on what other topics y'all have from us, and we'll choose. It don't even gotta be about this kind of stuff. It could be about whatever. I know the last one we did was sex toys.
We did sex toys, sex talk.
Go watch that video, because it's really hilarious, with our makeup artist. Somebody that was doing our makeup that day was in it, and she was talking about some crazy stuff too. So go back and watch that video, and drop us some comments on what y'all want to hear for our next tea talk. I'm gonna go eat because I'm hungry.
Bye, Buffins gang.
It's me filling up your leg.
Right?
About to freak you.